Hi there, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5. Chad Silber, Eric Chilton, Lauren Coleman, all here for you.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thanks for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and we're also on the News 2 app.
And a fan favorite coming up here shortly, Manning Franks, our movie critic, is in the house today. We're going to be getting a movie review from him as well as some of your questions answered.
Lots of exciting things, but first, we start with a look back on a tragedy that shook our community 1 year ago today. A deadly shooting occurred inside one of our schools. We were all here the day a teen was shot and killed at Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those all hands on deck situation. Our crews rushed to the scene, got as much information as they could, actually helped to direct parents to wherever they needed to be, all while learning new details at the same time.
All right, police say 16-year-old Maurice Evans Jr. shot and killed 15-year-old William Miller Jr., but it took hours for investigators to find and arrest him. Meantime, families waited in fear while their children sheltered inside.
She told me that they were on lockdown and it was not a drill. It was sheer terror. My heart was racing, my hands were shaking. It was terrifying and I didn't know what to think. I didn't know the exact situation going on.
Later that evening, students safely met up with family. Today, the school will hold a moment of silence to remember William Miller Jr. They are also dedicating a tree and a plaque into the Spartan Memory Garden in his memory.
A new survey shows parents are worrying more about school safety. The Gallup report found nearly half of parents fear for their oldest child's safety while at school. That's a 10% jump since 2019, the highest over the last 20 years. It's really not surprising. I'm not a parent, but I imagine that parents' fear about their children in school has gone up.
That's when we were talking about Dr. Oakley being sworn in. The first thing I said was safety is probably the #1 thing for parents. And it's funny because you go back, 20 years ago, that really wasn't talked about all that much. I mean, it just wasn't a thing, and then now it is the thing.
Especially when you have a situation like Mount Tabor. You see it in the headlines, we talk about it a lot,
Yeah.
but you think, that'll never happen here. It'll never happen here. And it did happen here, and it was a terrifying situation, terrifying day for everyone, out in the field and us inside the studio, too.
I have to say, I love when I saw the other day that they're putting in those scanners in the doors for the high school. I mean, that to me makes me feel better. I know I hate that it has to be that way, but it has to be that way.
I'm curious, as a parent, at what point do you talk to your child about safety at school? I mean, with the little ones, I imagine that's a difficult conversation.
So for me, we are just getting into that with my youngest because she's 9.5. So it's kind of like the age where they can understand it because they see it on the news.
Right.
I mean, when we're home in the evenings, if they see something on a news report, they'll ask. And we've had to have those frank discussions with them that this is a possibility. And they have drills, at school, so they're used to hearing about it. I think the key is to let them know. Very rare, hardly ever happens. It's the same thing. We have tornado drills too. It rarely happens, but you got to be ready.
Absolutely, great advice there. The past 2 years have not only impacted school safety, but learning loss too. Today, we got to look at the current education levels in our state. Overall student performance is down. That's compared to 2018-2019, the last full school year before COVID. That said, 7 out of 10 schools saw growth last year in student scores. Math scores increased for students in grades 3 through 8. Reading also improved in that student level, except for grade 3 reading scores, which dropped. In regards to ACT test scores, the new minimum score to get into a UNC system school is 19. Last year it was 17. Guilford County School Superintendent Dr. Whitney Oakley addressed that report today.
What we know we have to do is continue to focus on closing gaps for students. So if you think about it, individual students experience remote learning differently and experience the pandemic differently. And so what we have to do is identify the individual skill gaps and address those. That's why we're doing things like the tutoring, because you get that individualized instruction.
Winston-Salem Forsyth County School Superintendent Tricia McManus acknowledged encouraging metrics in the report while admitting there's still work to be done.
From 2021, which was last school year, to this year, you're going to see some really good growth and movement in the right direction. We have been honestly in that upward movement since last school year when we brought our students back. Again, we still face challenges, but we are moving in the right direction.
Alamance Burlington Schools says the report shows significant test score improvement compared to last year. Out of 36 schools in the district, 29 met or exceeded overall growth.
As children struggled to keep up with school early in the pandemic, many states saw significant increases in students held back to repeat grades. Last year, 1 in 6 North Carolina ninth graders fell off track to graduate high school. New studies on younger children show higher retention rates. Several parents have held children back to help them recover, but are concerned about how that could impact social life and academic futures. I imagine a lot of parents going through similar thought processes. You know, they might have lost some of that learning ability during the height of the pandemic, and so what do? Do you force them through and hope that they can, stay afloat, or do you hold them back?
I think it's case by case basis. If you,
right.
My mother works in education, and sometimes they have to tell a parent, your child might need a repeated grade, and some parents are like, not my child. But I think it's case to case. If you really truly feel that your child needs, that extra year, it probably will benefit them in the long run, in my opinion.
And that's what parents need to do, is to swallow your pride and look at this as this is something that's beneficial to the child. If you have to do that, you have to do it. I know that our teachers that I've spoken with at the schools that Mike is now, I have one in elementary, one in middle, and they're all saying the same thing. We have a plan in place to try to review and get things caught up, but it'll be a stressful year. I mean, they got to cram a lot into a small amount of time.
But the good news is there are so many resources out there with like after school tutoring and just different programs, so you can help get more of that help outside of classroom hours, because I imagine, even the brightest of kids missed out on something in these last couple of years.
I heard the average, maybe you addressed this just now, and I was over there looking at the screen, but they were saying 11 months behind in math and sometimes 7 months behind in reading. 11 months in math is a big
especially in those
deal.
early grades.
Yes.
That is the building block for, your future career and things like that. So it's important that they get that, early on.
And then the challenge is, well, you anticipate everybody being at the same level when it comes to math and reading. So if there is a student who isn't at that level, how do you handle it? I mean, do you have to backtrack, or do you just keep pushing forward?
No,
think about
I don't think you
teachers.
keep pushing forward, because it will definitely
It's
catch
true.
up to them.
Right.
Well, and your mom knows this, that teachers have to put on about 50 different hats every day, because they've got this kid who's here at this level, this one who's over here. You don't want to let the kids that are getting it be just left alone because they get it. They need to be further. So it's a balancing act.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye on that one for now. Let's get into some of your other headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. The owner of the Blind Tiger in Greensboro is fighting to get his liquor license back. He says without an alcohol permit, the business is not economically viable or feasible. The Blind Tiger's attorney filed a motion in court yesterday against the suspension and says death threats are being made to employees.
The Blind Tiger and its owners have been maliciously, unlawfully, and wrongfully maligned by some in the media and some on social media, and have been damaged by misguided and arrogant alcohol law enforcement officers.
Officers say Blind Tiger employees tried to cover up the evidence. That, along with a couple other recent incidents there, led to the suspension of the bar's license. Owners admit a manager helped the security guard hide the gun in a desk in the club, but the venue they say that the venue fired the manager shortly after. The venue's owner says charges and punishment are unwarranted.
I'm tracking some encouraging numbers in the state's weekly COVID data. Check out the COVID hospitalization count at the state level. The latest number is 1,013. It's quite a bit lower than all the days that came before it. It's actually the lowest number the state has reported since July 10th, more than a month and a half ago. Between then and now, our numbers have mostly trended upward, peaking near 1,400 a month ago. All right, let's add a 2-week trend line to this. You see that dotted line there? That's a 14-day average. For much of this graph, the line was either edging up or staying flat, while the last part of this graph is actually showing a slight decline.
A federal judge in Florida heard arguments today about whether to appoint an independent review of documents found at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Trump's attorneys responded to a DOJ court filing where the government released a photo of classified material found in the estate. They say the former president has a right to assert executive privilege and say the special master should make that decision. We will let you know what the judge decides.
Not bad temperature-wise for us. You can tell that we're kind of rounding that corner, aren't we, now headed toward fall, and we're seeing things a little bit more tolerable as far as temperatures go. 82 in Reedsville, it's not bad. Martinsville 81, 84 Greensboro and Winston, 86 in High Point. To the west, we see Wilkesboro at 81, Mount Airy also in the lower 80s, and Walnut Cove at 84 degrees. All right, looking at, if you head back down to the south, Salisbury at 83. And good temperatures for today. Tonight we'll see those overnight lows going down to about 62, fairly cool, not too bad, real seasonal I guess we should say. Mostly sunny and nice tomorrow, another fairly dry day. Boy, that sums it up, doesn't it? You don't see much on the satellite and radar, and when you go out to a wider shot, you have to go down to southern parts of South Carolina around Charleston to see any shower activity across the Carolinas. High pressure brings in lower humidities for today, but that humid area of air will return over the next few days. If you look at our long range forecast, we've got a 20% chance on Saturday, a 30% Sunday, but mid 80s for highs. Even Monday for Labor Day there, 84. Rain chances go up a little bit for Monday and Tuesday afternoon.
African Americans are less likely than any other racial group to own homes. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 47% of Black people are homeowners in the U.S. That number is even lower in Greensboro, sitting at roughly 37%. A group of realtors and community leaders are on a mission to close the gap. David Richardson is a loan officer for Movement Mortgage. For the past 2 years, his company has traveled the country hosting events to help people in Black and brown communities get the information they need to become homeowners. This month, the group is making a stop to Greensboro for their Grab the Key event.
We put together a panel working with local community leaders, local industry professionals like realtors, and then we bring in some local loan officers. And the goal is for each of the public comes in and they can hear that there are people here that want to help them achieve home ownership.
The panel will be held at the International Civil Rights Museum on September 10th. Davidson says the biggest challenge potential minority homeowners face is a lack of understanding when it comes to credit and access savings.
I personally feel that we don't talk about credit and finance in the Black household. I know growing up, there wasn't a whole lot of talk about how you plan out finances in my household. Because if you don't talk about finances and you're not having that conversation with the kid that's in high school, for example, they go away to college, they can make bad decisions. They can sign up for credit cards that they max out, which then comes back and could prevent them from buying their first house.
Again, Grab the Key will be at the International Civil Rights Museum on September 10th at 11 a.m. and it will also be streamed on Facebook Live for anyone interested who cannot attend the event. I think that this is great that they're doing something like this because there is a lot of misinformation out there. He said he really wants to debunk some of that barbershop or salon talk that people have, like, well, my grandma said this or my mom said this about home ownership, when things have changed so much in the last 10 to 15 years. So making sure people get the information that they need.
It's access to information sometimes. Sometimes it's just having someone reach out. And I think he's right. The younger you can do that, the better. I know even with my own kids, you don't, when you're coming up, you don't know what a mortgage is, you don't know what insurance is and all that. And I remember one of my kids especially had this interest in it, and I started telling him how it works. Now this kid is opening up a investment account.
Wow.
At 18 years old, he opened an investment account. And I think that's great. That's the way it should be.
I think anytime that you can help people understand more about home ownership. I mean, I don't own, and I think maybe the intimidation is part of the reason, and the misunderstanding and all the ideas that I have about what home ownership means versus what reality is. I mean, it's scary to think about that kind of stuff, and it's much easier to just pay a monthly rent than it is to dive in deep.
One of the things that he said was interesting was changing this mindset of, renting properties versus owning a property. He says a lot of time people are like, I just got to get money away so I can save up for that dream home. Let me keep spending $400, $1,500 a month on rent. He said that you should look at home ownership that way too, because one, a mortgage is cheaper, and you can buy a home and eventually sell it and then get your dream home. So he says, it's all about changing that mindset as well.
Well, and when you're renting, you're literally just throwing money
Yes,
out.
$1,500, $1,400, and with inflation, maybe even $1,700.
Well, and with a house, if a house is an investment, a car is not, other things are not. A house is an investment, and it goes up over time. So he's right. Keep it for 3-4 years, sell it. Then you're really jumping up to another level.
And one of the things that scares me about home ownership is I've seen this play out many times before with friends who own homes is when there is a big problem in the house.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then you end up catching up to the people who are renting just because you have to spend $20,000 to get fill in the blank fixed.
Well, you have to be committed, right? To me, 10 years in a home, then you can jump to the next level. But you will never, somebody who rents for 20 years is going to waste a lot of money compared to what they.
Well, if you're interested in this event, and again, it will be streamed live on Facebook, I have all those deals, all that information on our website. I wish I had some deals. We have all that information on our website. We'll be right back.
Beautiful day today, and really we'll see this again tomorrow. As we head into the evening, mostly clear skies, 62 for that overnight low, and the winds are out of the east and fairly light tomorrow. This is really nice, mostly sunny, good conditions, 86 for the high. All sunshine, no real rain chance, probably not until the weekend, and even then it's a very slight isolated, we'll say about a 20% chance I think on Saturday and about a 30% chance on Sunday. If you look at the satellite and radar combination, there is not much happening over our neck of the woods. Head to the south, you've got right in the central parts of South Carolina, say around Columbia, clouds are starting to build in, then we've got some showers in Charleston, but if you notice, all that's just kind of hovering right around there. It is the tail end of that cold front, but high pressure to the north keeps us with lower humidities for another day, then that will exit to the east, opens the door for this humid air mass to start to move in, and the approach of another cold front. So rain chances, although they're slight, they are in there for Saturday and Sunday, but it's only a 20 to 30% chance. And then by Monday, unfortunately, as we round out the holiday weekend, that's our best chance of rain. But 86 tomorrow, 85 Saturday, a cooler 82 and 81 for Sunday and Monday. Rain chances go up, 40% Sunday, 50% Monday, and a 40% on Tuesday. Next week, fairly typical with a late day stray shower. Wednesday, Thursday, and highs around 83.
But you know, people they're like
Mic check, 1, 2.
40 still living in an apartment.
Yeah, no. Oh, if that's the case, don't.
You might remember back in 2018 when a group of young athletes got trapped in a cave in Thailand. The team and the coach were eventually rescued, but a first responder died in the effort.
Filmmakers are now detailing the harrowing rescue in the new film 13 Lives. WFMY News 2's Manning Franks look at the film's most notable moments in his latest movie review.
In June of 2018, a rescue mission in Thailand galvanized the world when a junior football team became trapped in a flooded cave system. It was a rescue that touched the hearts and minds of all who followed it. So naturally, a director like Ron Howard, who's done films in the past like Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind, could bring an experienced hand behind the camera. Although even consistent and reliable directors aren't always perfect. Thankfully, 13 Lives isn't trying to be that. It's merely trying to tell a precise and good story.
12 boys and their coach are trapped in the flooded caves. They're here. How many of you?
13. Based off the inspiring true story, 13 Lives follows the international rescue mission that transpired in 2018, when a young junior football team and their coach became trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand. With time running out and odds against them, a world-renowned team of experienced divers embark on their most challenging dive yet.
You try and dive those kids the whole way, all you'll be bringing out is dead bodies.
One where a wrong step could mean life or death for both the divers and the boys. Ron Howard is known for capturing stories of human resilience, and on paper, this just seems like a perfect fit for his stylistic sensibilities. You can tell Howard has a confidence behind the camera because nothing feels wasted as you're thrown into the fray with the rescue operation, from claustrophobia of the caves to the frantic planning process. It's a truly gripping story that, despite an expected outcome, still creates engaging tension. While there is much to praise in this film, 13 Lives is far too clinical for its own good. The narrative surrounding all of this already packs an emotional punch, and yet with strong performers in the cast like Viggo Mortensen and Colin Farrell, the fault with this film is that the script doesn't allow its characters to go as deep as the divers in the movie themselves go, literally. Instead, like the cave rescue itself, it's laser focused on getting the audience from point A to point B with little time to understand who these people truly are. 13 Lives lacks a surprising amount of sentimentality, instead choosing to focus on the story's human spirit through a simple and straightforward retelling of the harrowing rescue. That singularity, along with Howard's veteran direction, proves, though, that you are still in good hands with this imperfect movie. I'm giving 13 Lives a News 2 approved. You can watch this film streaming on Amazon Prime.
And we have Manning Franks back in the studio.
Surprise!
Today.
It's like, you're gonna get me every week? Yes,
I hope
at this
so.
I kind of got chills just watching the trailer. I mean, and I can tell one of those movies is the type of movie that I would really be into.
Oh yes, if you love any type of Ron Howard, I mentioned before, you guys know him. Yes, of course, he's Odie from Andy Griffith Show, but he's also a well-acclaimed director. And if you have, any inclination to see just a well-constructed movie, this is the one for you. Not exactly the best in the world, but still really good.
Definitely want to see that movie. And Manning's going to be with us throughout the rest of the hour. So if you have any questions about movies, TV shows, or anything you're watching, he's going to be answering your questions in the chat. We'll be right back.
Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You missing one VO, I know. I'm trying to change now, but can you have Receive just pull one of the out of my file and just tell him to pull one of the videos of him playing basketball from high school and just drop it in.
Welcome to your 4 to 5, everybody. Eric Chilton alongside Lauren Coleman and Chad Silber. Manning Franks is over there, and Jalen Gilkey's coming up in a second.
Thanks for joining us on News 2, Fire Stick Roku, and we're also on the News 2 app.
Coming up on Facebook here in just a couple of minutes, we're attempting a social media challenge. That's all I'm going to say.
Nice.
But you won't want to miss it coming up later in this half hour. But first, we got to talk about some good stuff. First, Chris Paul. As you know, he is the pride and joy of Winston-Salem. Many would say the Triad as well.
2 schools that hold a very special place in the superstar's point guard's life honored him today, and our Jalen Gilkey was there.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you. There's so many familiar faces in here that shaped my life.
Winston-Salem born and raised, Chris Paul made a name for himself right here in the Triad. Now, his name is permanently engraved in 2 of the gyms that Paul will forever call home.
To be here, right, I've been so blessed and fortunate in my life to travel and to do so many things and to play on Olympic teams and all this different type of stuff, but you never forget where you came from.
West Forsyth High School is where Chris Paul first burst onto the scene as one of the top players in the class of 2003. After today, the court he spilled countless blood, sweat, and tears onto will forever bear his name.
3, 2, 1, bam!
So my message to all you guys is obviously never forget where you came from. Always show gratitude, and I say thank you.
But that was just one of the stops today honoring CP3. Wake Forest University named its men's basketball locker room after the best player in program history.
It doesn't say Chris Paul locker room, it says Chris Paul family. If it could have just said something for the family, that would have been cool too. But it's just amazing to be able to
Well, how cool is it to see a living legend right back where it all started here in the Triad?
And everybody loves him. I mean, he's like the favorite son, you know. It's just, I love seeing him back and to have his name on the court. You know, I know people might say, oh, well, it's high school. But no, that's where he started everything. It should be there.
I love when we, like yesterday when we were talking about this happening today, when we play old highlights from him in high school. I mean, it's crazy if you could just go back to that day and know what will come for this guy.
Yeah, I think it's always cool, like the people who knew him when he was younger and just to see where he is now, like the stories and stuff they probably have to tell about him. I'm sure they're so proud, you know, of all the great things that he's doing.
And especially at the press conference at West Forsyth, he was saying that, you know, a lot of his friends are still the same from the days when he was coming into the gym, working out, spending all the time out there in Clemens, and just to see, a lot of them were there as well, so just to see the gratitude and the thankfulness and how all the emotions just kind of overflowed, it was a beautiful thing.
I always wonder when he hangs it up for good, and will he come back and live in the Triad, or will he stay in the bigger cities? You know, I always wonder. I know he'll have a presence here for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like if he were to come back and coach, you know, a little league or like a high school team or something, that would be awesome.
And it's very funny. If you actually, like we said, when we showed the clips, the high school clips, he doesn't look much different.
No, it's true.
He's put on a little weight, you know, just he's matured as a man, but other than that, he looks the same.
It's true. He likes to hear that too, Jay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, great story. We're going to hop into some headlines with our 4 to 5 roundup today. We got to look at the current education levels in our state. Overall student performance is down compared to 2018-2019. That was the last full school year before COVID. That said, 7 out of 10 schools saw growth last year in student scores. Math scores increased for students in grades 3 through 8. Reading also improved in that student level, except for grade 3 reading scores, which actually dropped. In regards to ACT test scores, the new minimum score to get into a UNC system school is 19. Last year, it was 17.
It has been 1 year to the day since the deadly shooting at Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem. Police say 16-year-old Maurice Evans Jr. shot and killed 15-year-old William Miller Jr. Tonight, the school will dedicate a tree and plaque in the Spartan Memory Garden in his honor.
The owner of Blind Tiger in Greensboro is fighting to get his liquor license back. He says without an alcohol permit, the business is not economically viable or feasible. The Blind Tiger's attorney filed a motion in court yesterday against the suspension.
The Blind Tiger and its owners have been maliciously, unlawfully, and wrongfully maligned by some in the media and some on social media, and have been damaged by misguided and arrogant alcohol law enforcement officers.
Officers say Blind Tiger employees tried to cover up evidence that, along with a couple other recent incidents there, led to the suspension of the bar's license. Owners admit a manager helped the security guard hide the gun in a desk in the club, but say the venue fired the manager shortly after. The venue's owner says charges and punishment are unwarranted.
A federal judge in Florida heard arguments today about whether to appoint an independent review of the documents found at former President Trump's home. Trump's attorneys say the former president has a right to assert executive privilege and say the independent reviewer should make that decision. We'll let you know what the judge decides.
Forecast-wise, we're entering into this good period for a while where the temperatures are cooperating with us, and we're looking at the entire region. This giant look at temperatures. Boone at 74 degrees, 85 in Roanoke, 84 in the Triad. Really comfortable. If you head south, they're seeing some rain in the central parts of South Carolina. So look at Charleston at 71 degrees, but Columbia's close to 90. So we see that across the region, that's the way it's going to be. Decent temperatures for us over the next little bit. Now, hour by hour heading into the evening, probably breaking about 7:30 into the upper 70s, but we'll go into the 60s. In fact, with lower humidity, these temperatures will drop rather quickly, and we could see overnight lows in the lower 60s. So it'll feel a little cool. It'll be comfortable tomorrow morning as you head out. Across the region, not a whole lot happening. We have to go out to a wider shot to show you this. We mentioned that rain in Charleston. There's that system kind of hovering to the south. Some of the cloud cover is making its way north through the eastern half of South Carolina into southeastern parts of our state. But for us, maybe a couple of clouds in the southern Piedmont, and that should be just about it. So as far as the high pressure goes, you can see that moving away, and that's keeping our conditions comfortable for at least tomorrow. But as we get into the next couple of days after that, rain chances start to go back up at least a little bit. Here's your 7-day forecast with that high temperature going along. 86 on Friday, 85 Saturday, that downward trend to 82 and 81 for Sunday and Monday, and you're looking at rain chances going up again. Sunday, Monday, it's a 40-50% each day, 40% Tuesday, but those temperatures in the low 80s, that is not bad. Our average high is 84 for this time of the year. Next week, just a late day shower or storm chance again Wednesday and Thursday, but again, partly cloudy skies during the day. All right, let's get another check-in with our movie critic, Manning Franks, and we'll see what everybody's talking about on Facebook here. What kind of comments are you getting?
Yes, first off, hi Eric, fancy seeing
Hello.
you here. I know, right?
Ran into you.
I know,
yes.
just ran into you. So no, right now, I didn't get a chance to really fully explain a little more about, and I want to enlighten people a little more about 13 Lives. As we mentioned in the review, it is, of course, about the Thailand rescue that happened a while ago. But if you really do like Ron Howard, as we know, Odie from The Andy Griffith Show, but he is an acclaimed director, yes. So I am really excited just to be able to talk more about him and what he's done in the past. And I'm sure you've seen A Beautiful Mind, and I'm sure you've seen Russell Crowe in the past, and Apollo 13. He's an excellent director if you just kind of want a good, feel-good movie.
And so I was listening to your, and I sensed that you were torn a little bit, because I think you think he's an incredible director, tells a good story, but I could hear in your voice that you were like, it's good, it's not the best, but it's good.
It's not his best. It doesn't reach those highs as we have known in the past. There's a documentary, as I mentioned. I know we talked about it last week, but I'm going to mention it again. There is another great documentary called The Rescue that kind of goes from the beginning up until their rescue, as the name implies.
So do you feel like he did not get into the individuals enough? We didn't get to know the 13 boys?
The divers, the boys,
Wow.
not really. They were kind of surface level. I can't even remember their names, any of them, because it's so surface level, which isn't a bad thing. It's a great experience in the movies. And I know Elizabeth was saying she might like that movie here in the comments, and I wanted to give her a little more explanation about what this movie actually is. It's a good time. It's on Amazon Prime. I would highly recommend you guys to go see it if given the chance.
What else are you watching or have you seen lately that maybe we haven't talked about that's something that you liked?
One thing that I really kind of liked recently that I saw, it's a foreign film, but I would highly encourage you all to watch it. It's on Netflix. It's called RRR. It's a Tollywood film, actually.
Really?
Set in India, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's over the top. It's excellent. It's a fun time if you can get past the subtitles. I would highly recommend that because it is a pure joy to watch.
You're a multitasker.
Yes.
You can watch foreign films with subtitles. We'll be right back. Stay there.
We are keeping an eye on the spread of monkeypox. The state has confirmed 322 total cases. Nearly 99% of them are in men, just 2 women. The state has received more than 18,000 vaccines, but more are on the way. The government recently signed a contract for more than 5 million doses. Production on those doses should begin later this year.
With monkeypox posing yet another health threat in the pandemic, school leaders are paying attention to guidance from health experts. WFNY News 2's Megan Maleris verifies that monkeypox can live on school surfaces and why health leaders are not sounding the alarm.
It's time to verify. Back to school, back to normal. Well, not exactly. We technically are still in the COVID pandemic as yet another health threat comes to the surface. This time it's monkeypox, the rare but rarely deadly disease with symptoms similar to smallpox. The CDC's statistics show it's very uncommon in children, but with schools back in session, parents and teachers are asking, is it possible for monkeypox to spread through school surfaces like desks and sleeping mats? Our sources are the CDC, a recent monkeypox surface study conducted by the Utah Health Department, and Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
The most common way that monkeypox is transmitted is directly from person to person, and this involves skin-to-skin contact. A small number of cases could be transmitted by respiratory droplets. There are also sometimes people can get it from what we call in medicine fomites, which is the environment around us.
The CDC emphasizes the risk to children is low, though yes, again, it can spread through contaminated objects like toys, eating utensils, fabrics, and surfaces used by someone who has monkeypox. The Utah Health Department study took 30 specimens from a house with 2 people with monkeypox. Several items had traces of the virus, but none had a positive viral culture result, meaning the virus wasn't viable or infectious on those surfaces.
The surfaces that are most problematic are actually soft fabrics, so like bedding, towels, things that we would use somewhat intimately with skin-to-skin contact. Other surfaces, such as desks, doorknobs, telephones, are much less likely to become contaminated because the skin to direct contact would be quite unusual.
The CDC says the best disinfectants for monkeypox are the same ones you're using for COVID or any other emerging viral pathogen. EPA's pesticide product and label system search page allows you to see name brands and generics that perform best. At this point, the CDC is not recommending students stay out of school for monkeypox exposures, unless, of course, they have symptoms. At that point, the child's doctor and local health department should advise what to do and whether the vaccine might be an option. With your Verify, I'm Megan Maleris.
You can help stop the spread of misinformation. If you see a claim or need a story to be verified, send a selfie, video, or short paragraph to verify@WFNYnews2.com.
All right, hello everyone, this is Manning, and you are getting a sneak preview here for those on Facebook and YouTube and all the streaming platforms. Right now, you are getting a little first look about what this next segment's going to be about. It's called I believe, Lauren, can you look at it? It's the hashtag insert fall into a movie or something. It's right over there, right there. Go to copy. A little behind the scenes, y'all. Hashtag add fall to movie. I was right, okay. So in this, I want you to think of a movie title. One of my favorites that I came up with, free of charge, I'm gonna give this one to you, is Gourd of the Rings. See what I did there? I added a fall theme item and put it into a movie title. So start thinking of movie titles and seeing what item, fun fall item, festive item, be it for Halloween, Thanksgiving, anything that's fall, go right in there and have fun with it. So that's the basic gist of the game. There are no winners. The winner is who has the most fun. Yep, that was really cheesy. I apologize. In the meantime, start thinking, get a typing, and I'm going to come up with a couple myself. So.
All right, I'm thinking now. I'm thinking hard. I'm like, what can I do that's interesting?
You can't use Gourd of the Rings.
I know. I was like, that's a good one.
That's mine. I had to take that.
Okay, I think I came up with one, but it's not that exciting.
It's okay. Kimmy, my fiance, everyone, gave a great one called The Curious Case of Benjamin Pumpkin.
Okay.
Great
Okay,
one.
Kimmy.
I love that one. I love that one. So, feel free, everyone, I'm going to actually go to YouTube as well. That's a good one, Eric. That is a good one.
That's my contribution.
I was thinking Mean Pumpkins for Mean Girls. That's what I actually wrote in my phone.
Oh,
when I
well.
That was my Halloween
brainstorming.
tribute. Mean Ghouls.
Wait, who's screaming outside? Y'all hear that?
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great
We
one.
might need to bring her in. 'cause I can't
Hi,
think
did you
of
like
it.
the Fall Wars
Love
instead
it.
of Star Wars?
I like that, Tanya.
It's a great one.
May the spice be with you.
Oh, I like it.
Such a beautiful day today. Our average high this time of the year is around 84. That's kind of where we've been hovering. Next week, we could see some low 80s in the triad, which means in the mountain communities, maybe our southern Virginia counties, you might see some upper 70s for highs. Yeah, it's that time of the year, isn't it? 84 in Greensboro, 86 High Point, 84 in Winston-Salem and Walnut Cove, Asheboro and Lexington both chiming in at 85 degrees. We've got 62 for the low tonight, mostly clear and cool. Tomorrow, 86 degrees, pretty comfortable, mostly sunny and nice. Taking rain chances pretty much out as we head into your Friday, but for the weekend, we'll bring them in just slightly. I mean, rain chances, I'd say a 20% Saturday, 30% on Sunday, and then we bump that up to 40 to 50% when we get toward Monday. But the holiday weekend overall looks pretty good. You can see the cloud cover staying to the south, a little bit of rain around the Charleston area. That is remaining there, and probably staying there. There's a high pressure to the north that's kind of blocking all of this. You see it here. That's why we've been lower humidity for a day or two, and then now things will start gradually. It'll be slow, but things will start to change. So humid air starts to move in a little bit more. This is as we look into Friday night, now Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. That cold front probably not making it here until that Monday time period, and our rain chances do start to go back up. So tonight, that low of 62 degrees with northeast winds, fairly light. Here's your 7-day forecast. 86 on Friday with sunshine. Rain chances very slight Saturday, not really a big deal, 85. 82 on Sunday, now we're going somewhere. 40% chance of rain Sunday, 50% Monday, back to a 40% Tuesday as most people head back to work. Labor Day temperatures are good though at 81, and we'll stay in the low 80s around 82 or 83 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each day, the late day pop-up showers or thunderstorms.
All right, finally today, we are starting something fun. We're playing a movie-themed game. Feel free to play along in the Facebook comments. Right now, Twitter is buzzing with a new challenge called #AddFall2a Movie.
So here's how it works. You have to add the word fall or any fall-themed word to a movie title. So I've been doing some brainstorming.
Please.
I'm gonna let you guys go first because mine is not that good.
I thought you put it on us.
Yeah.
Like, I have an idea, but I want you guys to go first. Some of the ones we had were Scarface, get it, for Scarface, Robin Hoodie for Robin Hood, and Fall Back to the Future, obviously, Back to the Future. A couple of great things on Twitter. Some other ones that I've seen are The Fall of Our Stars, like The Fault in Our Stars, or Leaves in Las Vegas, Leaving Las Vegas, and another one that I saw was Dr. November, James Bond. One of the original ones that my fiance Kimmy came up with was No Time for Pie. Instead of No Time to Die, No Time for Pie.
I like
Or
that.
pumpkin
See,
pie.
you guys are just coming up with these so easily. So I thought, I love the movie Mean Girls, so I thought Mean Pumpkins.
There you go. That's perfect. It's like it is a gourd. Pumpkin is a gourd.
Okay.
It's fall related. Chad.
I have literally nothing.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. Y'all are looking at me like, how do you not have one?
I know, I was going to make fun of hers, but then I realized I don't even have one, so I
Well,
can't.
Melita said one that I thought was really good is Fall Magnolias and Top Fall. Top Gun and Steel Magnolias.
Oh, see, that I think I'm overthinking it.
You
Okay.
don't, yeah, just think about something and then kind of replace it if you know nothing. Or what about this one? Like, this is a simple one. It's the Great Pumpkin Spice, Charlie Brown. See, just a little bit.
Okay, so
Great
you just
Pumpkin
added
Spice.
it. Okay.
It's just, see, it's a simple one.
Uh-huh.
Nothing crazy.
What could we talk about? What? I can't think of any, honestly.
I'm still here trying to think of some.
One that I said, one that I also
isn't
added.
my ministry, I guess.
Yeah, one that I also said in the break was The Curious Case of Benjamin Pumpkin, which Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Brad Pitt, Kate Blanchett.
So what are some good like fall words? So obviously we've talked about pumpkin, fall, spice,
turkey,
sweaters, ghoul,
mean ghoul,
festive,
leaves,
festive.
We're
gonna get Chad to have one before we
campfire.
leave. I'm just gonna show you Twitter slightly so you can get an idea and steal it as your own. There you go.
I'm still over here thinking of
something.
Another one.
We already said that one.
Yes.
Yep. Sweater off dead.
Sweater off.
That was good.
That's a good
that
one.
was a good one.
Good job, Twitter.
These are none of mine.
Yeah, they're all Chad's.
Yep.
Yes, Chad's coming up with all these on
Can
the
you
fly.
scroll? I don't know.
I can't.
It's okay. Use your computer.
Let's see. We also have
breakfast hat Tiffany's.
Breakfast hat.
I can't. In my mind, I'm like Goldilocks and the Three Pumpkins, but that's not a movie.
No, I don't
that's
think
a
no,
story.
It's a story, but we can kind of like move it around a bit, fudge it, you know. The Right Muff, like The Right Stuff.
Okay.
Good movie. You've all
Earmuffs,
seen that.
okay,
Earmuffs,
yep.
yes. I Know What You Did Last Autumn. So
Now that was a clever one.
That's clever. See, it's a simple one because you just got to do a little switcheroo for the seasons.
I'm really bad at this. I appreciate your fiance's.
Yes.
I'm
Kimmy
still
is doing really good at this. I'm trying to think also there. The Pelican Leaf is a good one as well too.
Our producer Kenna just said, what'd you say? Bobby Odom said Beverly Hills Halloween.
Beverly Hills Halloween, yes, exactly. So we have a good selection to choose from. But Chad, congratulations, you came up with a couple.
You still have to come up with one by the end of the day.
All right, I'll
by
put
the
it
end
on
of the
Facebook.
6 o'clock show.
All right,
Okay.
we'll be right back.
You're welcome. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, the movie game, not so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got to come up with more movies.
Hi, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada.
10 things that scare me about you versus 10 things I hate about you.
One, two, three, four. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Talking about learning loss.
What an outpouring of support we saw this week as a family in High Point tried desperately to find their missing grandmother. 81-year-old Hetty Dawkins had been missing for a week before a search team found her body in a wooded area less than a mile from her home. Every day they had search parties going out and looking for the woman who had severe dementia. Imagine if that was your grandmother. You'd want everyone in town out looking for her. I can't imagine what it was like for her family. I also can't imagine their gratitude for all the strangers who showed up. People who didn't know Miss Dawkins or any of her family feeling compelled to join the search. One woman told us she's still offering the family any help they need, even though the search is over.
We showed our support in your time of need. It doesn't end today.
I said this on the news the other night, but it's worth repeating. High Point lost Hetty Dawkins this week, but through the grief and disappointment, perhaps they found something too. A renewed confidence in community. A reminder that we all have the ability to lock arms and come together when our neighbors need it most. All her life, Hetty Dawkins taught her family the meaning of strength. Through her passing, she passed the lesson on to her neighbors. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now. It has been a year to the day since a deadly shooting inside a Triad high school. A look back at the chaotic day at Mount Tabor.
The Blind Tiger's owner wants his alcohol permit back. What comes next for the bar deemed, quote, hazardous by the ABC Commission? Plus, folks taking to the skies this holiday weekend, your plans could be on pause. The reason behind countrywide pilot strikes.
Going from in-person learning to the virtual classroom